What's up, y'all? I'm Isaiah Jones, and you're watching The Sideline Show.
Everybody, listen up!
It's The Sideline Show.
Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
Everybody's ready to go. He's ready to go. I'm ready to go. And you're ready to go.
Introducing now the host of The Sideline Show, Jackson Prince.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? You are watching The Sideline Show. I am your host, Jackson Prince, and today I have on a guest who I think is super cool, honestly. Like, his content is killer. The business side of everything is killer, which I think a lot of you guys are actually really going to enjoy, because I get questions all the time like, hey, Jackson, how do you find the intersection between content and business? And I think this guy has mastered that. So I want to welcome on my good friend, the Dunkster, my man, Isaiah Jones. What's up, dude?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And one thing I just want to say starting off is, first of all, I think anyone can do social media, but I think anyone can do the same with intersecting social media and business. I truly believe anyone can do it, just like anyone can dunk, which we'll get into. But
for sure.
I honestly believe that. So,
what's up, guys? If you are a high school or college athlete, it is extremely important for you to understand what NIL actually is, how you can use it to your advantage, and where the future of NIL is going. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people call themselves NIL experts, when the fact is NIL is way too new for any singular person to master all of the nuances in this new multi-billion-dollar industry. However, there are resources that you can access that'll bring you one step closer to finding your place in one of the largest blue oceans that we've seen in years. My personal favorite is a company called Clean Connect. This NIL certification course provides you with 5 hours of in-depth content to help you get started with your success in the NIL industry, and it is the only of its kind made for athletes and sports professionals alike, giving you a clear-cut advantage over the thousands of other competitors that are all trying to find their slice in this new development in a very large sports industry. So if you are interested in becoming certified in the NIL space and want a clear advantage over your competitors, visit cleanconnect.com and use code JPrince at checkout for 15% off, or hit that Clean Connect link in my bio now. So, man, I we started talking recently. I think we've become pretty good friends over social media, and like I've always said on the podcast, that's one of my favorite things about social is like we wouldn't have known each other if we never posted our first video. Yeah. So like talk a little bit about the content stuff, the people that you've met, and just kind of how you've like figured out your niche within that whole world.
Yeah, 100%. It honestly starts with not knowing anything at all and then just taking action. So for me, it was just about like just doing. And so I started posting on social media like a year and a half ago. Posted in high school a little bit, posted dunks here and there, but got like 6,000 or 7,000 followers. There was no organic growth.
Right.
So keep in mind, this is all, the landscape has changed. So like it is a different world. So before, when I was playing high school, 2018, 2019, graduating 2020, it was not the same. I don't even think you actually needed social media at that point. You actually need social media now, not only for like connections, like take us for example, but coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if pros, like I'm sure it helps the pros. You need that attention. To be honest, without it, I don't know if you can actually succeed in sports. But from a social perspective, to me, the connections are everything. Yeah. In fact, that's the biggest thing with my account is reaching out to other people. I've started doing that more and more. As you grow your account, you can literally just reach out to other people who are doing cool stuff, and you can help them, and then they'll probably help you in exchange. So I think the connections are everything.
Dude, on the way over here, I was actually thinking to myself, you have to be so much more than just a hooper now. And like, obviously I think about everything in terms of basketball because that's what I've played. But even the best, like, especially with the NIL landscape, like if you're going into college, I mean, you can't just be a hooper now. You have to be so much more than that. You have to be super personable, even if it's not like on a content basis.
Yeah.
Because I played at Texas, and some of the highest NIL earners on our team, they weren't content creators. Like I was the content creator of the team. They weren't content creators, but what they were was super personable, and they were super charismatic, just great guys. So whenever we walked into that room and there was all those donors there, they were able to navigate the room and shake hands and actually have a smile on their face, great posture. And like I studied these guys, and I took a lot of stuff from them without them even knowing that I was doing that. But dude, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You kind of have to have social media now in order for you to really make an impact outside of, scoring buckets is cool, getting dunks is cool, but what's even cooler is being able to create something for yourself after the sport.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. That's something that I did wrong. I think it's actually one of the biggest mistakes athletes make is they think that you can just be a good player. And that's great. Those guys you were talking about, those athletes, they would still be in a better position if they had social media and they had a big social media. So
I agree.
The more personal you are, that's great. You don't maybe they didn't need it. Maybe you could still make it as just a D1 player, but it would still help them. It would still make them more money, get them more attention, maybe even professional after that. So
yeah,
I think you need the social media, and I think you need a lot of things, honestly, but the social media is a cheat code, and you can't just be a good player.
Dude,
you gotta have that attention.
I say the exact same thing, because even at that point, I'm talking about the best players at the University of Texas, right? Like, I was a walk-on. I wasn't even close to being the best player on the team, right? I was like 14th, 15th, 16th man on the roster. So when you look at it, like 99% of Division I athletes aren't the 1% that are getting these massive NIL deals, right? But then you look at on like the girls side, especially because girls just kill it with content and everything else. Like, I look at the Cavender twins. Statistically, they're not great basketball players compared to the girls that they're playing against.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the difference between Paige Beckers and Hannah Cavender, I mean, it's night and day.
Yeah.
But they level the playing field because of their massive social media presence. And, like, they might make more than Paige just because of how good they are and how personable they are on social media. So, like, it's crazy how you can, like, level the playing field like that.
Yeah. If you're an athlete and you're not on social media, I think you're tripping.
Yeah.
Because also take it, people think that, D1 and pro is the goal. So they're going to be Division I player, get a full scholarship. They're going to get a pro and get paid to play. The problem is, so you were able to get that walk-on offer. I'm sure the attention you had helped you.
Yeah.
Regardless, look what you're doing now after. So
Dude.
even if you can get injured. You can get injured. You could tear your ACL. Done. I don't think negatively, but I'm just saying that's a fact. That could happen.
You could go through a coaching change like I did.
Yeah.
Like me, it was a coaching change, and then just like that with one meeting.
Yep.
My college basketball career was in shambles, and I don't know what I would be doing now if it wasn't for the social media presence that I had built.
Yeah.
Like, I truly feel like God was preparing me through that whole process for me to transition into what I'm doing now. And to be honest with you, man, I'm a lot happier because of it.
Yeah.
Guys, real quick, if you're an athlete, coach, or a parent, I want to discuss something for just a moment. One of the most important components of college recruitment and personal branding is having your game highlights on social media. It's not a secret that every coaching staff in the country not only has social media, but they utilize social media as a recruiting tool when trying to find the best players. The problem with trying to get your highlights out there is that hiring someone else to do it for you is super expensive, and trying to do it yourself is extremely time consuming because of all the editing that has to go into it. My dad probably spent 8 to 10 hours per tournament making a highlight tape for me just so we could put it out there, but that's because we didn't have a tool like Clutch Shots. Clutch Shots is an AI computer vision platform that allows you to shoot wide angle footage of your games in 4K and generate highlights that are optimized for social media in less than 10 seconds after the play occurs. Parents, whenever your kid scores a big bucket, just double tap the screen and continue recording, and Clutch Shots will reframe and motion track that entire play for you, all in 4K quality, so that way you can continue watching the game without the stress of having to edit all of the clips afterward. Guys, I wish I had a tool like this during my high school playing career, and having film on social media is only going to become more important. So take charge of your media and download the Clutch Shots AI app today.
Yeah. And the Cavender twins, they put themselves in that position where once they're done playing basketball, they will be very wealthy. And whether injuries, whether coaches, pro team, doesn't matter. So Paige Becker, she has a good social media as well, but if you don't have that and you're just that player, as soon as the playing stops, if you're actually not setting yourself up with social media as an athlete, as soon as the playing stops, you're done and you're literally going to be left at square. That's exactly what happened to me. I played 2 years Juco. Second year of Juco, I'm sitting there. I averaged less points the second year. I transferred, went to a Juco in California, averaged less points that year, and then ended up with like some NAIA offers, not full scholarship, of course. No D1s, it was not what I wanted. And I actually had committed to Rice as a preferred walk-on when I was a senior, and I had, met my trainer who played in the NBA, played Juco, ended up convincing me to go Juco. I believe that was the right thing to do. I never would be doing social media right now without that. Nevertheless, I was sitting there at that second year Juco, didn't have any offers, no attention, no social media. Started from literally ground zero. Basically, I played basketball 12 years. It was my entire life. I'm sure many of you athletes, your sport is your entire life. So once that's done, you got to make money. You got to have a way to support yourself. So as soon as that's over, your dream's done. So you honestly, this is what I've been saying now. you don't have a choice anymore. If you actually want to make it as an athlete, you have to do social media, period.
100%, dude.
So.
100%. Well, then, and you were even talking about the making money piece. For me, yes, obviously making money is great. Like, I'm blessed enough and fortunate enough to like make money off of this, but it's also having something else to chase. Like, you spend 12 years. I've been playing basketball for 13, 14 years now. Like, I picked up a ball when I was 7 the first time. So like, I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
This has been my entire life, 14 years of basketball being my identity. And then overnight, something like that happens, and suddenly you're not just a basketball player anymore. But then when I came to realize, it's like, yeah, dude, I've never been just a basketball player. And I tell people now, people will come up and ask me like, yo, Jax, like, you good? Like, yeah, dude, I'm great. Like, I'm the best I've ever been right now. Are you kidding me? Because I finally realized that basketball was just a tool to take me to my next place. Dude, I'm not 6'8". Like, I'm not 6'8". I don't have crazy bounds. I've dunked a basketball like 4 or 5 times in my life ever. Like, I wasn't going
Anyone
to the
can
league.
dunk. You still
Dude,
can dunk.
dude, we're gonna talk about it,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
gonna figure it out because I need to get back on that rim, bro.
Yes, sir.
But like, dude, because of just the social media stuff and the grind, like that 8 months where I just put my head down, didn't care about likes and comments, didn't care about what people saying I was posting too much. Those 8 months where I just put my head down and just got to work paid off. I mean, they're paying off dividends now, and I know it'll pay off like exponentially more in the future.
Yeah, and that's honestly why I'm teaching something now. It's called Dream School, and so I mean, I didn't name it like, you know, how to make money for athletes. It's called Dream School for a reason, because it's literally our dreams. Like, we have dreams as athletes. We want to play our sport. Like, that's all I wanted to do. I never wanted to get into business. Let me just say though, business can be very fun, especially you know, because you're the one who decides the final result. When you have a coach, the coach decides the final result. And in reality, you know, you can do everything you could possibly do. Don't blame the coach, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to play you, they won't play you.
Yeah.
In business and social media, it is literally 100% on you what happens. So if I want to make something happen, it's going to happen, and no one's going to be like, go sit on the bench. No, it's 100% on you. So business can be fun, but yeah, that's why I'm not teaching athletes just how to make money. I'm teaching athletes how to save their dream, because the way I see it, you're just an athlete. You don't have attention. You don't have social media. Your dream as an athlete's dying. It's only a matter of time. So if you act now, you can actually this is another point I make. Not only can, with social media and that attention and the ability to support and promote yourself, can you keep chasing your dream, but that's going to actually allow you to go insanely further than you thought. So even if you want to play D1, or even if you want to be a pro, that's the social media is literally just going to give you like a boost. It's just going to give you a jump start. So that's what I would say. If you're an athlete watching this, literally just get out your phone and just start posting. Like, it's actually that simple. It is not any more complicated than that. It's exactly what I did. A year and a half, I grew an account from 0 to 30K, and like took me first 8-9 months, right? 0 to 30K. I lost that account. Literally, I was upgrading phones, so I lose my Instagram account, right?
Yeah.
I was like, and keep in mind, that was like all my work at that point. It was only 30K, but to me, that was like everything I had. So I lost it, and then that was last year. That was 12 months ago.
Yeah.
So then I kind of went back and forth what I was doing, and then, you know, 2 months in, so February, so 2 months from now, but last year, I started posting on my new account, the one that I have 125K on that one now. So from 0 to 125K in like the same time. So from 0 to 30K in 7 months, then from 0 to 125K in 7 months.
Yeah.
So that shows how fast you'll get better, and you get better by just literally just doing, just clicking post.
Dude, you start to figure it out. And like, I was talking to Not So Air Jordan, and I asked him straight up, what's the key to blowing up on YouTube? What's the key to blowing up on social media? And I think you'll attest to this too. Find something that works, go. Yeah. Like, just find something that works and just keep freaking posting it, because you never know. And then also, like, my favorite thing to say is done is better than perfect. So
100%.
yes, I could take a video and I could spend 9 hours editing it and make it look studio movie quality, right? But then I sit here and I think to myself, I can shoot in 4K, but if my content itself, if the quality of my content is not 4K, then it doesn't matter what frame rate I shoot the content in. It doesn't matter, because it's just not going to get that same engagement. So for me, done is better than perfect. As long as I know that what I said or what I did in the video is sufficient to impact a lot of people, I just let it fly, and like, I'll fix it later if I need to.
No, you said a lot of good things in there. One thing I would say is actually what my brother told me. He told me, I asked him, I was like, what should I do? I had no offers, not the offers I wanted at least. And I was like losing money. I'd paid to, you know, go play Juco in California, had an apartment and all that. So I was like, God, do something. So I called him, and he was just basically like, you have more value to give than you think. And he said that, and then I've actually posted, I have not missed a single day on social media. So I've posted every single day since then. And then the results have happened. So nothing was perfect. It was far from perfect. It was trash at first. It's similar to sports. You're right. You just got to, for one, just do it. And then secondly, you can't worry about the quality being perfect because it won't be.
Yeah.
You literally can't make it perfect anyways.
Right.
But it's funny because as you accept that, the closer you get, or the more you get to just doing it and then just adjusting and getting better, then you realize the better and better it gets really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Same with sports.
Yeah.
Same with sports.
The thing that I really like about social media too, and you were kind of hitting on it with the quality standpoint, is that there is someone out there who's recording the same content as you or similar content as you with higher quality, but they might not be getting the same engagement because the quality of their content, what they're saying, isn't that good. And that's one of the cool things I like with social media is like, me and you are in like relatively the same niche, at least pretty closely related, but we're not competitors, right? Like, I can have just as many, we can have the exact same followers and like still reap the exact same benefits, which I think that aspect of social media is so cool because it's not like that in basketball. Like recruiting, you're competing against your own teammates. So yes, you want to lift your teammate up and you want to get him better and do all those same things, but still internally there's like this ulterior motive, like, oh, I'm lifting you up so college coaches can see me lifting you up so I can get recruited. Yeah. And I feel like there was a lot of that. I mean, definitely with me, it was like, I played at the #1 high school in the country 2 years in a row, played with Houston Hoops. We played in the PGM Final Four. Like, I genuinely wanted to see my brothers win.
Yep.
But at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, dude, I got to get recruited.
Yep.
So what can I do? But with social media, that's not the case. Like the competition is almost negligible when you look at it like that. So
yeah, that's actually true, and that's a great point because it goes into the fact that I say anyone can dunk. I changed it now. I'm teaching something else. So now it's anyone can dream because I think anyone can build social media. Anyone can accomplish their dream as an athlete. But both of those things are true. I think everyone can be successful. That's a great point. Everyone, literally every single person could make money on social media. Every single person can have a following. Truthfully, it's the new job.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's a better job than most. And you're the one controlling it. So 100%. Nobody can fire you unless you get fired by everyone in the entire world. So which is tough to do.
Yeah.
So anyone can dunk. Just really quickly, let me explain this. Anyone can dunk. I say this because there's 6'5" people who can't dunk, right? We all have seen a 6'5" dude. So if you're watching this, anyone in the entire world can dunk. There's a 6'5" dude who cannot dunk. There's 5'5" people who can easily dunk, who can windmill. Have you heard of Andrew McFly?
Yeah.
He's 5'5", jumping over people, windmilling. So you see a 6'5" dude who can't dunk, and you see a 5'5" dude who can windmill, then you obviously can tell it's not about height. So that's the first thing. People think it's about height. It's not about your height. Then they say it's genetics. Literally, okay, that 5'5" guy, you're probably not 5'5". You're probably taller than 5'5", first of all. But he's windmilling and jumping over people. So you could, even if you're 5'5", at least dunk.
Yeah.
But regardless, you've dunked before. You may not dunk a lot. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Anyone can dunk. And also, it's not your main goal. It's not like what you're trying to do right now.
Yeah. I mean, like me, it was always, I didn't need to dunk.
Yeah.
My dunks were worth 3 points. That's what all my coaches said is like, what do I need to dunk for? Especially when like I was playing with guys where if I missed a 3, it would hit the rim and then they were getting the putback dunk.
Yeah.
So it was like, what do I need to go dunk for?
Yeah.
And even when I was running on fast breaks, bro, like it got to this point, I was running on fast breaks. I would be the first one out on the break. Until senior year, I was sprinting to the corner. And and like anyone who's watching this who's like seen me play before can attest to this because I'm running to the wing, I'm running to the corner, and then if I get to there and I'm still the first one, all right, then I'll go get the layup. Otherwise, I'm shooting threes, man.
You're smart. You're playing to your strengths, though.
For sure.
Yeah, but you could, if you had focused all that energy on shooting, on dunking, easily.
Dude, well, I'm telling my dad now. I have an 11-year-old little brother, right? And he's trying to play basketball, and I'm telling him, look, man, get him on the plyometrics. Like, get him on plyo, get him on the athletic training, because basketball now is not about skill. It's about the intersection of athleticism and skill. And if you don't have the athleticism to match your skill, you'll never have a chance. Because you can have an elite handle, but if you don't have the quick step burst to get a first step on somebody, well, then what's the point of having a good handle? Because now you're just dribbling in place like you're Julian Newman, right? Like that's not going to get you anywhere, right? So it's now about the intersection between athleticism and skill. And yes, obviously height and strength plays a major factor in that. But no, that's what I'm telling him now is like, you got to get on that athletic training, man.
Yeah,
like,
and
don't do what I did. I spent 10 hours a day just working on ball handling and shooting. No, bro, go hit that Vertimax, go do some hurdles, run some hills, like whatever.
And that's actually only going to help with social media too, which I'll assume your brother will do.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, I encourage him to.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I will too. Trust.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, goes in the second thing is, you know, the new thing I'm saying is that anyone can dream. What I mean by that is, you know, chase your dream, which is you're an athlete, you have a dream of being an athlete. You need social media. So anyone can do that. Anyone can dunk. Anyone can have a social media account. I literally believe anyone in the entire world can have a social media with 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. And anyone could do a YouTube. Anyone could be on TikTok. And you just need to do it. I don't know. Some people like don't do it for different reasons. Some people are afraid of what others think. Some people, you know, they don't think they have value to give, I guess. Some people think it's cringy.
Yeah.
Nothing is cringy when you're sitting there and your dream's dead and you can't play. Like if you didn't have social media, your dream as an athlete you could revive it, but it would have been dead.
I mean, I would have chosen to go play Juco and like struggled. I would have been angry. I probably would still be very angry at what happened because, dude, to be completely like, I'm going to be super vulnerable for a second.
Yep.
I spent probably 6 months just being like angry about what happened. Like I was not myself for the first 6 to 7 months after that happened. Now I'm good, but I think it's largely because I found my next thing because of the brand that I was able to build while being a college athlete. And like now it's, I mean, you got to do it while you're in high school. Like my only regret with social media is that I didn't start it sooner.
There you go.
Truthfully, man, I just wish I started it sooner.
Yeah. If you're an athlete right now, if you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, if you're literally an infant or you're retired and you're an old man, the time to start is right now. Like if you're not doing it, you're actually missing out. Again, I would have done the same thing. I would have just started sooner. I didn't realize all the opportunities that were out there. It's easier now than it used to be, but it's only probably going to become more opportunities online. So in my chasing my social media in basketball, I didn't want to leave basketball, right? So that's why I did that. I was recording games. I was trying to train kids. I was just recording my own content, teaching dunking. I was just trying to stay in basketball. And of course, I still am because I love basketball.
But no, dude, like you're hitting it on the head, man. And the cool thing with social media one of the things with social media that I like is the compound growth effect.
Yeah.
Because you could start with 100 followers and then you get 20 likes.
Yeah.
But then you get 125 followers, maybe you get 25 likes now, right? And the more followers you get, the more views that your reels can reach, the more impact you can have, which then turns into more followers. And like there's a compound growth effect there.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're like in that first upswing. That first upswing feels good, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I stepped onto Texas. I don't know if we've talked about this. I stepped onto Texas with less than 4,000. I had like 3,500 followers. I left Texas with like 55. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And like that was me not doing content full time. Like I didn't post every day. I posted 4 times a week, 5 times a week, which is still like a lot. Like some people are going to hear 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and they're going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so many times. Like I don't want to get, made fun of because I'm posting too much. That's not a lot. There's people posting 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
Like change your perspective on this stuff because 4 times a week is not a lot.
No, it's not. In fact, 4 times a day, I think, is what you should do. I always make it easy on myself, though. I like to be efficient, so I like to put out volume. Again, you made the point earlier about the the edited content. So you could spend a ton of time on one video. It's not going to go viral. You actually find out now that with social media today, it's like the more personable, relatable stuff. So you can, with what you're already doing, actually, you could be posting on social media and making money literally right now. So you don't even have to do anything extra. You could be an athlete. You have training, you have games. So if you don't want to do, if you think it's cringy, whatever, you don't want to be on social media, that's fine. Have someone record your training with an iPhone. That's all you need. Have someone record your games. Just get a friend, record your games. Literally, this is what I was going to say earlier and I forgot. The TikTok shop, there's TikTok Creator Fund. There's ways to make money on YouTube. You can literally make money on Instagram. You can make money with collabs across platforms. You can make money off ad revenue. There's actually so many ways. As an example, I was recording games. So I was recording games for a while and I got some good traction with that. I literally found multiple jobs, in my opinion, where you make more than you'll make in pretty much anywhere else, like right now at any age, by playing basketball, doing what you love. Dude. One of those was I was recording games. This girl had a 75-point triple-double. So this is right when I get monetized on TikTok, right? It took me 75-point triple. I'm not kidding.
Whoa, that's
Sanaya Burks.
what?
You know, yeah. That was the girl. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So she had that, and then I went out, and she started going crazy. Got a ton of. She even sold out her games after that. I couldn't even get into one of her games. Regardless, I had gotten the TikTok Creator Fund. It took me like really a year to really start making good money off social media. I was basically making like not much before that. But then, so I recorded a game, posted it. In that one video, it's a 1 minute plus video. You get paid for those on TikTok. It made like $1,800. So one video. So I literally go to a game. I'm recording a game. I voice over it. You put the highlights together. I'm like, and it does that. So right at that point, I started doing social media for my brother. So my point is, there's so many opportunities out there. I don't have time to do them all. You're missing out on opportunities. You could literally be making money on social media right now with what you're already doing.
One of my clips from the podcast blew up. Well, I've had a lot of clips blow up, but one of the ones in particular that I'm thinking of is like you don't have to be like super controversial to get stuff. Me, I like to poke the bear a little bit. Like, so I was talking about Rodawave Elite, and I'm actually going to post another clip about that soon, which is really funny. But I was talking about Rodawave Elite, and that clip went feral. I mean, it went feral.
Let's talk about it.
And so like I was like, I looked at, and this is how quickly it happened. I post the clip and I just walk away from my phone. That's like my typical thing is I post the clip, put it on my story, and I just walk away. I don't look at any comments, likes, views, nothing for at least 5 hours. Then I go back and I look. Dude, when I went back to look, that little red box on TikTok was blowing up. So then I go and I look at the Creator Rewards program, and I'm like, whoa. And I show my dad, I'm like, Pops, this is real.
Yep.
Now, my dad is a physics teacher, super like traditional, old school, like get a stable job. Like we come from a family of engineers. So he's like, he couldn't really wrap his head around the fact that his son was making $1,000 from a video, $1,500 from a video.
Yep.
Like that's crazy. Like to think about that we can just do that.
Yeah.
You know, and you didn't have to be controversial to do it. That one did well for me, but I've had other videos like that weren't controversial.
Yeah, the funny thing is, one thing I see on TikTok is like there'll be people like doing relationship videos, and they're just like in a car like doing some crumble cookies or something, like crumble cookie taste test, and that has like 400 million likes or whatever.
Dude.
Like they probably got paid literally 10, 20 grand for that video. Some of those videos, I don't know if you've seen those super viral ones, but they're just no edits, put the camera up, have fun and talk.
Dude, that guy who's like, he makes me sick, man, like watching him. But his content is just so watchable. He's like eating 20,000 calories and then running 20,000 calories. Like, what?
Yeah.
And he just, I mean, like, the work that goes into that video, content-wise, is not a lot because it's just on his phone, like, recording himself.
Yep.
But, like, doing what he's doing is crazy.
Yeah.
But still, though, the content itself, and that's his life. His life is to eat and run. That is it. And he has so much fun doing it. It's crazy, man.
And I guess a lot of parents are probably like that as well because, you know, they just want what's best for their kids. So if you're going to tell your parents, I'm going to go on social media, well, this is a new thing. It hasn't been around for that long. It's definitely the path. But what kids don't understand, I think, is, and what y'all need to understand, is that you can do this right now, and you can prove it. So if you have money coming in, if you start making more than them, or at least more than some people, or at least more than a lot of jobs, nobody can say anything because you're already making the money. So that's another reason why I would say start now. But you don't have to go all in. You can still have your basketball. You can still have, worst case, you got to go get a job. That should be a motivating thing for me, at least, so I don't have to do that because I want to keep doing what I love. And so that's why I'm trying to do this. But the thing is, you can start making money on it right now. You can get proof of concept. You don't have to like forget everything else and go all in. No, just start making money.
You shouldn't do that to start.
Yeah.
Like you should. I had basketball. I had NIL stuff. Like social media was not my number one. It was my number two for sure, but it was not my number one. Like I'm still in college, like getting a degree in sports management.
Yep.
Don't know if I'll, as a matter of fact, because of my ability to make content, I've actually already gotten major positions in up and coming companies, like with no degree as a 21-year-old.
You meant using that degree.
Exactly, brother. I'm sitting, dude. I tell this to my dad. I told this to my dad the other day. I was like, man, I really think I'm wasting money on this degree. And he's like, yeah, but you know, it's good to have a degree. Yada. And like me and my girlfriend have this argument all the time, and it's like, maybe I'll use it, maybe not. But the way I see it is like you were just saying is, if all else fails, I could go get a job, which is what everyone else is doing.
True. But yeah, I mean,
Might as well take the swing, right?
yeah, no, seriously, especially because it's probably the best swing that is available to any athlete right now is literally just to get on social media. It's for sure. It's easy. You already have the content. Probably you probably have it in your phone right now. You could just go post.
Yeah.
And in fact, I hope you do that. I hope you go literally post right now.
For sure.
Because that video you post could go viral. In fact, my first 10,000 view video, it didn't even happen right. My friends all did this faster than me, by the way. They all grew faster than me. So like I started first, grew, and then they all grew. So y'all are going to grow faster than us. But my first 10K video was the most BS video. Like recorded on an iPhone from the stands of a men's league game. I just came off a screen and like hit a 3. And that 10K is not going to do anything for you. But the point is that video hit 10K and it could hit 1 million. And sometimes the most random videos are the ones that go viral. So, yeah.
Man, you just hit the nail on the head, dude. The most random videos can go viral, bro. It's astonishing to me how, like, I'll spend 2-3 hours making clips. And then this one that I'm, like, walking down the sidewalk and, like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So, dude, I got to ask you, man. Like, we've talked a lot about why they should join social media and all the benefits from it and everything else. Say some people are watching this and they've already got 50, 60, 100,000 followers, right? What I like about you and things that we talked about so much is that, like I said earlier, you found the intersection between business and content. And you're using the platform that you've made to go into business, which is something that I've been fortunate to do. Yeah. But like, talk about how that's looked for you.
A lot of influencers are definitely broke. And so I say all these things about the good social media opportunities, but if you don't have that business aspect, actually, then you're missing out on a big key of it. Quick little thing is, again, people think the idea of business is boring because you see things, people doing business, maybe they're not making a ton of money and they're doing a ton of work. That's not what this has to be. In fact, social media is tons of leverage. So you can make a business and you don't have to like grind. Like, yeah, you need to grind a little bit, but I'm saying you can get to a point where you actually don't have to spend 14 hours because that's how they portray business. So us athletes, we love playing our sport. We don't want to go do 14 hours of terrible work. It doesn't have to be that for one, but literally without the business, you're not going to make a ton of money.
I mean, you're missing out on, I would say 90% of what the social media could be used for. Because yes, you can blow up on YouTube and you can make money from ad revenue and you can post clips and you can, Instagram bonuses is a great thing, right? Like I make decent money with Instagram bonuses, but like if I didn't leverage that to get other opportunities, well then I would just be shooting so short.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you want a little bit. So, if you don't want to do anything business, you can actually make a good living off pure ad revenue. For sure. That's the truth. But I'm saying, when I say a lot of influencers are broke, none of them are broke. I just mean a lot of them aren't rich. But you can definitely get so you said intersecting business and influencing. That actually just makes it easier because then you have kind of two things to work on. So if social media is not going as well, you're still doing that, but you can kind of put a little more effort into the business, which is going to actually make you the money. And again, business is just a word. It's fun. Business is fun. You will have fun doing business on social media. That's just the truth of it. And social media is fun too. It's like with basketball. If I would have had social media while playing basketball, I think I would have had something that when basketball goes bad, I could do that. And because when basketball goes bad or whatever sport you play goes bad, you're just down because everything in your life is going bad. Man. But when you have social media, you can do that as well. It's the same with, if you're doing social media, you should be building something that you can give people value. You can, do things. All you need to do is just solve problems, help someone do something, for something, give value, and you will make money. It is that simple. That's the business aspect of it. And I think just understanding it's not all about the views. So I run social media for my brother. He teaches people how to become real estate photographers. And he has a lot less followers than a lot of people, than a lot of influencers. Like he has 100, he has still a good amount, but he has 180K on Instagram. Keep in mind, it's been like 4 or 5 years of doing this full time. Mm-hmm. YouTube at 40K, TikTok's kind of like at the same as the Instagram. But his business, because he has a business and because he monetizes well, intersecting business and influencing, he literally his company makes way more money than probably influencers with 1 or 2 or 3 million. Yeah. So not to say that they couldn't, they have the reach. The reach is important, but reach isn't everything. You could get views and the views are not going to be super monetized. You could get very little views. You could have 1,000 followers. That's another crazy thing. You don't actually need to be really an influencer to make money on social media. You could reach out to people. You don't even actually need to post content.
Dude, you want to hear something crazy?
Yes, sir.
So, one of the earliest episodes of the podcast, I had on a girl, Alex Glover, and she does a lot of ESPN sideline reporting now, and she's like the NIL consultant for SMU women's basketball and volleyball. Super cool person, great person, a good friend of mine. She actually got the most NIL deals in the entire country when she was a senior. She led the country in NIL deals, did something like 45 to 50 in a single year. Yeah. Like, she was up there. All of them were paid, and she only had like 40K, which relatively you can attest that that's
you can get that with one post.
That's not a lot. Yeah. Like that, it's just insane that she led the country in NIL deals. And a lot of people don't even know who she is, but she got paid. I mean, she lives on her own. Dad got a Tesla. Like, she's doing all this super cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, leverage, dude.
Yeah.
That is my favorite word when it comes to social media, is just leverage.
And compounding as well. So again, if you start now, in 5 years, it's like a lot of things aren't like that. You know, I guess a degree isn't really like that. You actually spend money to get it, and then at the end it doesn't compound. That's the truth of it. In fact, you actually probably like make maybe even like the same amount as you were spending each year in the school. That's not compounding. Social media is compounding. A year ago I don't even know, like a year ago I had just lost my account. I had pretty much 0 followers because I'd never got it back, which is crazy. But so I have 0 followers at that time, and now I have 125K. That's not the final result. It's going to compound. So how much easier is it to get from 0 to 1K? How much easier is it to get to 1 to 10? In my opinion, way easier, because it is compounding. Not only the actual like engagement, not only the followers, but your skill. Yeah. So as you get better, your skill is going to compound, meaning you're going to make easier content. You're going to make better content easier, but then the content's going to compound as well. And then in the same way, the money you're making will do that. 100%. So I think you need to aim for that leverage, which leverage, if you don't know, just means that I can post a video, I can go to sleep. I can wake up, that video could have been making money while I sleep, could have, got a ton of views. It could have given a bunch of people value. It's not always about making money. I could have said something that was actually valuable, that helps people, and then 1 million people see it. So, but that's leverage. How else could you get 1 million people to listen to you?
Oh, dude, I mean, like, that's actually a crazy thought that I've never thought about. How can you get 1 million people to listen to you?
Yeah.
And me, I look at like the performance indicators or whatever, and it'll be like, oh, 3.8 million views in the last 90 days or 30 days or whatever it is, right? That's insane. Like, when you really break that number down, 3 million, that's a lot of people, bro. That's like, that's, I mean, it's insane. Yeah. That's 1% of America, bro. Like
one video too. Or I mean, it's not one video, it's 30 days.
Okay, 30 days, I probably post, I don't know, maybe 20 videos, 15, 20 videos. 15 to 20 videos, I reach 1% of America. Are you kidding?
And you're 21 years old.
And I'm 21.
So
it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And I like, how old are you?
23.
23?
Yes, sir.
Dude, so it's like, I'm 2 years from being your age, and it's like, I'm still like, man, I wish I would have started earlier.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And in 2 years, you'll be absolutely way ahead of where I am right now. And same for y'all. If you're 15 watching this, if you start now, imagine what you'd be where you're 18. Just take 3 years, but put 21. You're probably not even thinking that far ahead. They're not thinking like 21 if you're an athlete. I wasn't.
Well, they think they're going to go pro.
Yeah.
They think they're going to go pro. And that's like, guys, look, if you're watching this, I've met hundreds of people who have said, dude, I love the podcast. I love everything that you're talking about. If you love anything else, if you love anything about this podcast, just listen. The chances of you going pro are not impossible. If you think that you have a shot, go for it. That is what we're talking about here, is chasing your dream. Go for it. But understand that anything can happen, and that God's plan for you can be very different than your plan for you. This is why we're talking about having a social media presence, so that you can leverage that into going into your next opportunity like we were able to.
Yeah, and I'm going to make an argument on that. Actually, I'm glad you said that, because my argument is that every athlete could be a pro athlete in high school. So not that you're going to go play for a professional team, but in my opinion, if you get paid to play your sport, you are a pro athlete. That's the argument I make. You're professional, right? That's the whole thing. Is what's a professional? They get paid. It's their profession. So if you want to make your sport your profession, all you need to do is get paid for it. You don't actually have to have a coach. That's not true. I mean, I guess you would argue maybe a trainer isn't a pro
No,
athlete.
dude,
but
I'm not.
technically,
I don't like you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You are exactly right. That's all that a professional means. That you get paid to do something. And sure, people can argue, oh, you get paid to post videos about you playing. You wouldn't have videos to post if you didn't play basketball.
Yeah.
So like, what's the argument?
That is the content.
No, like you are a pro basketball player
Yeah.
in high school if you're able to monetize. Like Noah Newman, right?
Yep.
Good,
100%.
Good friend
he's
of mine.
making way more than pro athletes. Than
A
than
lot of them,
probably
yeah.
Maybe some NBA players, G League players for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
For sure.
And that he's not. He's in high school.
Yeah, he's in high school, dude. He hasn't even like, and I know he's a good enough player. Like he's getting Division I offers and stuff. Dude, I'm like, don't even go, bro. Don't even go, man.
Yeah.
Like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, oh man.
No, it's true, and that's why I say you can be a pro.
He's like 17, dude.
He's 17. I didn't
He's
know
like
that.
17, 18. Like making more money than your mom, your dad.
Yeah, he might have
whoever
made
you
more
are.
than a pro athlete in their entire career by the time he's 17.
Most pro athletes, dude.
Yeah.
Most pro athletes. Like the median salary in America is like what, like 48 to 52 grand or
Yeah.
something like that. It's not super high. He makes that in like a month.
Yeah. Probably some days where he's not
Dude,
careful.
probably some days where he cranks it out like
Yeah.
that, man. And like with the YouTube stuff, which is why I want to crack YouTube so bad. Like you get paid off of videos you posted a year ago. Like search engines are so powerful, dude.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So like I want to bring it back to the business side. So like for you, I know a lot of people, they'll like post content and then like link in bio to a course, right?
Yep.
Is that kind of like the style that you prefer, or
Yeah.
are you more like a community-based guy, or are you like a one-on-one coaching guy? How do you manage, like what do you think the best business to run on Instagram is?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's a lot of good in the different ones. I think it also, again, kind of depends on what you want, like what you want to do, what value you want to give to people. I like the community. I think a lot of times it's also about bringing them together. Something my brother does is he started with the course, right? He did real estate photography for a while, and then he bought a course on how to make a course.
Yeah.
So then he did that, and then he made the course on real estate photography, did that for a while. A lot of people had successful businesses off it. Eventually he went into what's called coaching, basically. So coaching has a community, it has a course. So you're bringing those two together. And so you have every person that joins, it's called Real Estate Photographer Pro. They get their own coach, and then they also have the course, but then they also have that community with other people. So I actually do think the final thing would be bringing them together. However, like there's a ton of people who, again, it's not all about the money, but they make a ton of money and they give a ton of value to other people in communities. I think communities are key. Like I think communities are the future, actually.
Yeah.
Because you take AI, which athletes, you may not think that's gonna, affect you that much, but it's gonna affect even athletes in a lot of ways. You were just at the AI tournament, or not AI tournament, but you were with an AI company at a tournament.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about that in a
Yeah,
second.
for sure. Yeah, and so that's gonna change things. I don't know. It's actually crazy. I just think the communities, the human aspect, like just having someone who you can talk to who's like a person, like that's gonna definitely keep going up. That's gonna be more and more important. So I would say the communities are good. But as far as the actual specifics, again, there's honestly a lot of ways. It's actually easier than you think. Like it's actually easier than you think to start business. I had no idea what I was doing in business or social media. I have tons to learn, but I'm confident now in what I can do, and I'm confident I'll continue to learn more. But you have your posts, you have short form and long form. It's pretty much that simple. You can post long form on YouTube. You can post on TikTok and Instagram too, but mostly long form on YouTube, short form, you have YouTube Shorts, but short form on other platforms. And then all you're doing is, and I like this also, I like having a purpose for the content. So for me, it was always easier because even when my posts weren't doing well, I was building the business and my posts were pushing towards my content. So if they go viral, it's pushing towards my business. If they go viral, they push towards my business. If they don't, I'm still building my business. So to me, that's the best thing to do. And you have the short form to promote, what you're doing, what value you want to give, whether it's shooting, training, recording. There's literally so many opportunities to make money, as we've talked about. And then you just promote that. Like you go to it's also simple now. That's the thing. Before it used to be so hard to build a website. Like you had to literally build. Now you have one thing. I use Kajabi. There's Go High Level School. Most people probably heard of School now. And you can just use that and you can do everything from there. So everything's so simple now. It's actually the easiest time in the entire world to like make your first dollar online. And again, it's not about the money. It's about chasing your dream. So if you have the ability to support and promote yourself, that's what social media and a business is going to do. A business could be something as simple as online training, though.
For sure.
So,
Sure.
it depends on what you want to do, but it's easier than ever. You can have a business in 6 months.
Yeah.
In 1 month, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say like hypothetically, right, with the course and everything, if I were, because I feel like a lot of people are real like scared to purchase courses. At least if you're trying to target a specific audience, which I think you'll agree is like the big thing is targeting an audience.
True.
How do you manage the back end of all of that, right? So like you're posting content, you're getting people to respond to your many chats and like signing up for, the free whatever. Do you run funnels?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So like you get people going through these funnels and you're giving them value on the front end so that way they'll pay later and all this stuff. How do you manage, okay, you got 100 people who just hit your stuff. Yeah. Now you got to like service them and you got to handle all of that. Do you do that all by yourself or how do you manage that?
Yeah, so I have 2 VAs. If you don't know what a VA is, a virtual assistant. So basically you hire them and they work remote. So, my 2 VAs are in the Philippines and they are great workers.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's slightly cheaper to hire a VA in the Philippines. The dollar is worth more over there. So I pay them both $750 a month, but to them, they're making more than that's like more than 4 or 5. That's like 4 or 5K a month. That's like the base in America. I think the average, actually household income, they're making more than that. So, but then because of that, they're really good workers. I work with them remote and they literally manage a ton of stuff. Like they're genuinely good workers. And so they help me manage a lot of the content scheduling, even stuff like adding captions, back end, you have to deliver. So if I promise someone something for my business and then I don't give them anything, obviously that's not going to do very well. So you have the course and then you have the community. So for me, I just put a ton of effort into my first course I made. It was the dunking thing. So what I did was I just gave a ton of information and I had no idea what I was doing. That was my point in this. After doing it once, I learned so much better, and that's what I've created now is Dream School. It is super simple. I teach a framework. It's called the Dream Framework. I'm not actually going to tell you. You have to join Dream School to find out.
For sure.
But so I have it super simple now because I think simple. If I can explain something and it sounds super complicated and like that's not. You want it to be simple, and so that's my whole goal. I promote it on the front end. The back end is I want it to be about actionable steps to get like results simply as quickly as possible.
So dude, let's wrap it up with a little bit more like business and big picture things. The thing that I've seen with social media and one thing that I love is that it's very scalable. And that compounding effect that we were talking about earlier, you can apply that to your business and actually like get more clients faster.
Yeah.
So, and then do you have like a referral system that you use or how does that work?
I don't actually. I had an affiliate system that I was working on. Basically, they post content for me, and there was different things I was looking at doing. Either they can earn money, or they could get it for free, depending on what it is, like coaching with me or stuff like that. But referrals is definitely key. I think one of the things with the referrals though is if you just actually have something that truly helps people and is like truly valuable, they're literally going to refer you completely naturally. You maybe prompt it a little bit, but that would be the best, most ideal. You actually just deliver, you just give good value, and then people are going to be like, hey, you should do this thing.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I agree. Like I've been referred so many things just because. That's actually one of my favorite things about like having a platform too with the content is like affiliate marketing is so big now, and that's kind of similar to a business model that I've done recently is like, so for me, I'm a big picture guy. I'm a heavy swinger guy. Like I want equity in companies, right? So like I've worked with a few companies recently. The biggest one was Clutch Shots AI, where, I and it's actually very cool how I got interested in working with them is I got invited to speak at this NIL summit that was out in Frisco. And there were all of these sponsors there. And one of the sponsors there was AI Connects. Well, after I was done speaking, the guy who runs AI Connects came up to me and he was like, hey man, I got this company that I think you would be really interested in working with. Let's go get lunch sometime. Came back later. We go and get lunch. I got lunch with him and the founder, Jeff, who's from Colorado, but he's actually moving to Plano to help launch this and get it big. We had a couple lunches together, had a couple email correspondence. He ended up giving me some equity in his company in exchange for brand advising. And now like we're partnering with tournaments and we're partnering with schools and we're getting all these really cool clips, and it's a lot of fun. And yes, it's a passion project and that particular thing doesn't pay a lot right now, but I think it has the potential to in the future in more ways than one. So I think that's like one of my most recent how I've been able to turn content into business type things. Because me, I don't necessarily run a business like me.
Yeah.
I am the business. So I try to put myself in situations where I can multiply what I do.
I think that's the smartest thing you could do, honestly. Especially going for the equity. The equity is the smartest thing you could do.
For sure.
Like, I mean, rev share, profit share, equity. If you have anything like that with any company, if it's your own, obviously you have it. But if you can get it with another company, it's pretty similar. As long as they, can't just take it away from you. But
Right.
like, why would they? So yeah, there's an app called the Taller app. It's like teaching people basically the routine, foods, things not to do on like how to be taller. It's an interesting idea. I think, it has some merit to it because there is a lot of things you can actually do to be taller.
Yeah.
To optimize your height at least. But so I was, making a few videos for them because I was dunking, height kind of made sense. So I made like, 2 or 3 videos for like 150. I offered them super low.
Yeah.
Just because I was just building a relationship. And then, because I also pump out my videos. I believe in
Right.
like volume. So I just film, have my VA, put some B-roll, done. So
Yeah.
And then they work. That's not because I'm like just doing bad quality. But then he just, I did a package for him. I did it was like, again, 10 videos is relatively easy because I post 4 or 5 a day for my style of content.
Yeah.
So it was like 10 videos for like 600. So that was just like a simple little thing, video I did in one day. And then he just reached back out to me because the videos had done well. And he said it was another 6 videos for 500. So I would, again, like, I don't know if that sounds easy or hard to you guys. But it's really easy. And that's legit money. Like that's actually like,
Oh, I mean, yeah. And the thing that I did was like 50 to 100 cold DMs or emails a week.
Yeah.
If you pump that out, you will start getting deals as long as you have some type of social media to like back it. And you don't need a lot. You can do it with 5 to 7K.
Yeah.
Like that's not a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, dude, you just start pumping out some content, start reaching out. I think brand sponsorships is like the easiest way to start understanding the business of how all this stuff works. And you can even ask questions too, especially if you find like a good partnership. The best thing that I did was like ask questions about how do you manage this stuff? Like how do you determine how much value I'm worth, right? Like if we're going to keep working together, how can you determine how I get paid more or less, right? So you figure out a lot of business concepts like that.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing that I did. So yeah, dude.
Yeah, and you had just mentioned the equity earlier. I think that's the goal too. I think at the end of the day, you want the sponsorships, the ad revenue. As much as that sounds like you might be like, $500 making a few videos, that's going to be the icing on the cake. In reality, like as you start to compound what you're doing. Again, 21, I'm 23. I would say just go for it. I would say it's a bigger opportunity than you think. It's going to be, I believe, especially with AI, like everyone's going to actually, it just passed, I think, in 2 years, I think this might be a little bit wrong, but it was like in 2 or 3 years, there's going to be more freelancers in the United States than people who, are employed.
Wow.
Like they're employed, but they're freelancers. So.
Even if it's just like a side hustle too.
Yeah.
Like 1099 freelancing stuff is real, man.
Yep.
There's real economics in that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you can't replace is you're a human and there's other humans around you. So just being a person who gives value to other humans, you can't be replaced.
100%, man. So dude, you got any last thoughts or anything?
Yeah. I mean, if you're an athlete and you're watching this right now, like you have a dream, probably just like me. It's marketing in a way, but I genuinely believe because I experienced it. And in a way, my dream died. I was able to kind of revive it, but it's true. Like your dream is dying and you have an opportunity actually to not only save it, but you can, with the opportunity of social media and the attention you could get, the ability to support and promote yourself, you can actually not only become a pro athlete in high school, get paid to play your sport at any age, in any sport, anywhere in the entire world. But because of that, you can literally take it further than like you ever thought you would because you have the ability to support yourself and promote yourself. So
absolutely,
I would say I'll give you the first word of the dream framework just to end off is just do. So become someone with a doer's mindset, become someone who just does things. If you do that, you'll be good.
Yeah. Speed wins, man.
Yes.
Speed wins. If there's anything that you guys take from this, it's do it with as much velocity as possible because velocity is what helps a bullet, which doesn't weigh very much, helps kill people, man. So whatever you decide to do it with velocity, do it with gumption, and just go all in, man.
Believe in yourself and you have more value to give than you think.
Absolutely. For all you guys watching, make sure that you go follow my man Isaiah. This was a super good conversation that I know we're going to have more just like this in the future. Make sure that you go follow all of his stuff. This dude is an incredible content creator, incredible businessman, and an incredible human being. So with all of that being said, whether you're on the court or on the sideline, go with God and always do your best. Peace.